By the way, Ron, that's how you search for match.
Did you see that?
I did, yes.
Yep.
Search, match, put in the ID. Okay? If they don't give you the ID, they only give you the candidate. You can go to the candidate record, go over on the side, and you can see the matches here. Just got, if they have more than one match, sorry, it doesn't go down that far, yeah. If they have more than one match, then you gotta figure out which is the
one is
latest
that,
one.
yeah.
that
Well,
they're
she's
working.
better just
Can
to
I
ask
go
him
back
what
to them
it
and
is.
say, what's the match ID, guys?
Yeah.
I do that all the time,
Sweet.
because they'll just say, you know,
Sometimes they don't
this
know.
candidate didn't work with this position. It's like, well, you might want to tell me which ones they are, so I can take a look at it, because, you know, not a mind
text.
reader.
You know what? I love those tickets where they say, I get an error message. What do I do?
We got one in here right now, and I just want to close it and say, please log out of the system. You're too stupid to use the system. But anyway, I didn't.
Wow. not an email, but you did up here.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, so I'm on this match,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking. I don't see anything, but look, it says supplier right here. So I believe that Megan probably already fixed this. Shop. She already fixed this. So this is all fixed. The problem is that email comes from the match, not from the candidate record. You set the stuff up on the candidate record, but when you put the match in, you have to set the burden as a shop burden, not as a W-2 burden. That's where they messed up. So they messed up on the back side.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
That makes
But it
sense.
looks like Megan's already fixed this. I bet you Megan's name's all over the history in here.
Yep.
Oh, look.
Well,
No,
Adam did.
He fixed it. Look at that. So you see, now, this little thing, this do not edit. So Knowledge Sync does this.
sorry.
Didn't we talk about this earlier?
Oh, sorry.
So when they put a match in, the burdens are here on the front of the match. Any
Right.
burdens that they do. But Knowledge Sync runs every 15 minutes, looks for a burden to be in there, and then moves it over to the requirements, right? So what probably happened is he moved that over there. And then Knowledge Sync came back and did it. Well, Knowledge Sync's not checking to see if there's another match, another burden here. So there was a W-2 burden in here that she deleted. And I bet you she did not expire it first. And so the EPI is going to pick this up as a W-2
She or
person
he?
again.
Adam.
Megan.
Oh, Megan?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Adam.
Adam fixed it, but Megan had to fix it all the way.
Okay,
Otherwise, there would
Ron,
be
you're
two
not
tax
listening.
burdens in there. There would be two
There
tax
are two
burdens.
steps.
See, remove W-2 requirement right here. And she
Yeah.
didn't expire it. I'm going to work with Jordan today to fix that.
So there are two steps. First, you get your tax burden into the match, and it get carried over from candidate, depends what you have on the candidate, right?
Right.
And then there is a casing job that takes this burdens and bring it to the requirement. Okay?
The
So-
reason behind that is so that we can have dates on the requirements. Because there's no dates. See, right here where this tax burden is,
Right.
see the tax burden
Yeah,
field? If
there's
I
no
change that today, let's say this match had been running for 6 months and I change it, I don't know that changed. So we set up requirements so that they can actually have dates around when it starts and when it ends, and you can change them.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking that in the future, you guys need to get away from that.
Well, Chris asked a good question. Why do we need the requirements
That's
in
what I
general?
keep saying. We don't need the requirements at all. And if we could get rid of them, we couldn't do it before because they didn't keep historical data in the data
And
warehouse.
it didn't tie to transactions.
And it didn't
Now-
tie to transactions. Now it does. We don't need them anymore. This makes upgrades 90% harder every single time we try to do them. But every report in eRecruit and tons of code, everything will have to be changed to not use requirements.
Yes.
So what's going on right now? Let's take it offline. Yeah.
But anyway. So anyhow, this is
You
fixed.
want to
You
hear
guys
it?
can probably close that
No?
ticket if you want to talk about it.
You want to talk about it?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's bring it up. So VMS burden now is being, when it's going to be back to the front of the match, it's going to be calculated differently than the rest of the burdens, right?
So you guys have to do things both ways anyhow.
Both ways, yeah. So
It'd be
you
a
know-
big project to get rid of requirements, but I think it'd be worth it.
Now you have all that in transactions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're keeping history. See, before they didn't keep history.
Right.
You change it on
right.
front of the match and that's it.
And that's it.
It won't go to transactions.
Unless
Oh, yeah, yeah,
finance has a reason why they need those things kept in requirements, you should not have to use requirements.
Does transaction support? Is it just a history of what has happened?
Transaction?
Yeah.
The only problem with the transaction that it picks up what the burden is at the given time when the
Right.
transaction runs.
You can't set this burden will be effective in
Or it
2
was
weeks.
effective.
Or it was.
Last
right.
week.
You can't move those.
But you can do that in a data warehouse.
No.
Oh, well, that's why we're doing this, because that was the reason this happened, because if we change the tax burden on a match, then it would go all the way back and change it from the beginning of time on the match.
But the problem, well, here's the thing. They are going to use the commission module anyways. Commission module is using the GM calculation that it's done in erecruit. And this is how they calculate GM. They say, I don't care.
I mean, maybe, we'd have to open a whole project up to see if we could get rid of using requirements. Because there were reasons why we went to them, and we'd have to make sure that they're all addressed. Because, like, if someone switches shops, you know, they would
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
and start another one.
You want my card? You
Problem
want to pay
with
for
all
it?
that is
Can I
that
get your card?
they're doing, they
If I did that, my wife would be like calling me up.
You can try my card. How about that?
I'll bring my
nothing
wallet.
changed.
See how that goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bring your wallet just
But
in case.
transaction went in the meantime.
Well, I might drive over there. 'cause
Right?
I'm sure there's a lot
So
of
she can go in and change some, yeah. I don't
Thank you,
know.
Ron.
That's a whole nother discussion, I think, but we
Be-
do
be
know
back
that in
fast.
order to use the
Be back
commissions
fast.
module, we have to move to using the VMS burden the way eRecruit intended it to be used. So I think that after we get through all that, we should start trying to figure out if you can get rid of the requirements module
I think
altogether.
that would make so much,
It would make life easier, but we
Life
have to
easier
figure out
and-
what we're losing
And
and
it
if
makes-
it's something that we can compensate for.
and it makes more sense because now VMS is going to be calculated one
Yeah,
way.
we are
and the
literally
rest is
the
different.
only client eRecruit has that does this crap. That's why it's so hard every time we upgrade and requirements don't work right and everything. So, all right,